So I'll be honest with you. This crypto market kind of scares me a little bit. And it's just a little bit, right? I'm not saying like it scares me enough to sell my main positions. Like obviously I know about what they're going to be. It kind of scares me on a leverage trading side about these markets because I've seen this story time and time again. Especially, when you start seeing the negative days, they can compound because of the liquidated leverage trades, the liquidations that are going through in today's crypto world. And with the uncertainty in the crypto market and also still no real stabilization, it kind of scares me just a little bit for that leverage trading side. However, my main positions, they're not going anywhere. I haven't done anything the last couple of times that we've seen these liquidations. And I don't plan on doing it now. It's just more about like what I can have collapse from, the liquidations that could potentially happen. So I want to talk about this and why it does scare me. And maybe you guys can um, create some positivity in the comment section to say, yeah, that's not going to happen. But let's talk about this. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to start trading, I mean, it depends on if you want to. If you want to leverage trade, or you're interested in trading outright, or you're interested in, buying many different positions at a higher or lower leverage and finding ways to increase your wealth or your balance fairly quickly, as long as we don't see chain liquidations, feel free to check out my link for BTCC. That link will get you a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, and you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. Um, uh, some trades that I have currently in my possession, I have Ethereum, a trade that's sitting pretty far up right now. Caspa, AVAX, Jasmine Coin. I also have a couple of negative ones, or a few negative ones that I added in here. And I'm just very hopeful to see that we can see uh, some success. Let's just say that. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also check out my link down below. Now, where does the market stand? The market currently stands at a $3.74 trillion market cap. That's pretty far away from the 3.9 or $4 trillion market cap that we were at recently, and we're seeing an increase in volume. $203 billion worth of volume, 21% increase in that volume. Bitcoin's dominance has increased from the 59, 58 level up to a 61.1%. Ethereum still sitting close to that 12% mark. Bitcoin has dropped in the last 24 hours by about 3%, down to $114,000. Ethereum is at 3,592. XRP has dropped below, or actually is at the $3 mark. It was below the $3 mark, which one of my positions got filled for a leverage trade, but then immediately got liquidated because it did drop down to about $2.95 or something, $2.93. But then you have BNB that's sitting at 760, Solana that's sitting at 167, and so on and so forth, right? The entire market is actually down. The stock market is also down by a heavy amount as well. So why does this worry me? Why am I concerned? I've never really been concerned in the past. Well, I've seen this happen, right? I've seen high levels from where Bitcoin was, or high levels from where Ethereum was, and then it absolutely fall down to way lower levels than what we expected. And a lot of times that happens because, you're just seeing, an influx of just people that are panic selling. However, you also have a major, major impact that's leverage trading. People that are leveraging or over leveraging, and then they end up getting liquidated. They hit a certain barrier, they end up getting liquidated again, and then it creates more negativity, which then creates a liquidation after liquidation after liquidation after liquidation, meaning that hundreds of millions or even multiple billions of dollars are getting liquidated in one single day. That's something that has kind of always worried me a little bit, especially after the first time that I've seen it done. I had a few, I think it was it may have been like a couple of months, few months, 3 months of successful leverage trading before, to where that ended up mostly getting liquidated because of what happened with Ethereum in the past. If we look at the year and how it was at $4,000 and then has completely, dropped down and continued to get liquidated all the way down to a low level of $1,400 or so. So it really, really collapsed, and it gave me an opportunity to buy a lot of Ethereum at those times, but then started to pick back up, and it went to 2,000 and then back to 3,000, and we're reaching that level again, the 4,000 mark, where we could essentially see some more liquidations. You know what I mean? Some more pullbacks, and that's something that does always scare me for the leverage trading side of it. For my outright Ethereum that I have, it gives me the opportunity to buy more. For my outright XRP, outright Jasmine Coin, outright whatever, it gives me an opportunity to buy more. However, it does put my leverage trading account in jeopardy because of so much volatility in the crypto market and the fear that can be created very, very quickly for people saying, look, I need to get out of this position. And we're talking about people that are holding outright saying they need to get out now. And it creates just a lot of negativity. We've seen it not only with Ethereum, with Jasmine Coin, with AVAX, with ADA, with all altcoins, and even seeing Bitcoin, being subject to that, right? Seeing subject to a decrease within that time frame. Not necessarily the largest decrease that you've seen within that time frame, but if you look at all history, you've seen how it picked up to certain levels, dropped down, and then obviously getting up to high levels of $70. And this is not even telling how far it actually went down. It looks like it just climbed, but it actually did decrease quite a bit. I believe all the way down below 40,000. So even Bitcoin has had those tumbles, those pullbacks pretty hard, from 100,000 all the way down to 70,000. So those big pullbacks, it could be 30% swings, and that could be a 3x leverage. So it's wiping out anything that's above a 3x leverage at those high points. Now, if you were able to gain a lot, like I was with Ethereum, from $2,000 all the way up to the $4,000 or so that it's at now, or was close to, that shouldn't get liquidated. However, there's always a chance that it could. And also, that was at a 10x. So yes, it's a 10x at a $2,000 price point, meaning that my liquidation point is about $2,000 flat. So if it somehow breaks $2,000, which it could, I could end up losing that. Now, again, this is all speculation. It just scares me a little bit. It has me thinking. I'm always thinking about the positives as well as the negatives. But again, when it comes to my main portfolios, I could care less what it's doing in the short term. I know what's going to be in the long term, so I don't really care about that. But when it comes to this portfolio here, that I was able to go from $500 to now $2,840, it's not really making me feel great about where this stands, because I've seen my leverage trading account get liquidated completely. And I, yes, made a bunch of money from it and been able to pocket a bunch of money from it. But until we have that strength, until we have like all the ETFs, all the all-encompassing ETFs, and we have more consistency in the growth rather than wild swings, we still have that chance to where we could see some major liquidation. So all I'm saying is just be careful. If you are leverage trading, I would say at these points you could do a 2x leverage and it shouldn't come back 50%. You could do a 3x leverage, it shouldn't come back 33% from where we are here. But you never honestly know, because a liquidation train can be deadly. I've seen it and I've experienced it. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you're thinking about the markets right now. Is this just a standard drop, after seeing Bitcoin hit certain levels or Ethereum hit certain levels, or are we going to start to see a true liquidation train, especially with the fact that the stock market is kind of following and also heavily negative as of the time of speaking? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.